Good morning, friends, and a very warm welcome to all of you in this e-learning program that is organized by Shri Gyan Manshri Vidyapith. In our today's session, we are going to talk about the lesson, which is this flotation. The new chapter of class 9 physics. Let's start on with this lesson, and a very warm welcome to all of you from Science by Harsha ma'am. Now we are going to start with the lesson actually. But before we start on with the lesson, we need to understand few terms. Some of the terms you have already studied in your class 8. The content which is there in the beginning over here is already there in your class 8. What is the content? Let us first understand that. The content I am talking about is this, which is thrust. Thrust is defined as force acting in perpendicular direction. Because it is a force, the unit will be Newton. Alright. Whenever at 90 degree means in the perpendicular direction. Meaning of this word is perpendicular. So, whenever the force is acting at 90 degree, what it is called as thrust. Alright, whenever the force is acting at 90 degree, what it is called as thrust. And what is its SI unit? Its SI unit is Newton. Why it is Newton? Because of this fact that it is a force. Alright. So here it is. Thrust is the force acting normally on a surface. What it is measured in the units of force, that is Newton. Okay. And kilogram force, kgf also you can say, and it is a vector quantity. We all are knowing that what is force? A vector quantity. So again, the thrust will be a vector quantity. Alright, note down these points quick, just two definitions. Be quick. So I hope that you have noted down this content. Now let's move further. With the help of just one diagram, you'll be able to explain what is pressure. Okay. Now pressure, the next particular content. Whenever the force is acting at 90 degree on any surface, then pressure is defined as force per unit area. If we want to derive the SI unit of pressure, then what is the SI unit of force? It is SI unit of force upon SI unit of area. Now what is the SI unit of force? It's Newton. What is the SI unit of area? It's meter square. So the SI unit of pressure is Newton per meter square, or in the memory of scientist Pascal, it is also Pascal. Alright, so this is about the pressure. What is pressure defined as? It is defined as force per unit area. When the force is acting in the perpendicular direction, it becomes force upon area, and its SI unit is Newton per meter square, or in the memory of Blaise Pascal, it is also Pascal. Alright, note down this content. Then we will see about how pressure is depending on area. Alright. Now from this you can see that force is directly proportional to pressure is directly proportional to force and inversely proportional to area. That means over here, more the force, more the pressure, more the area, less the pressure. More the force, more will be the pressure. More the area, less will be the pressure. Why like that? Because what is pressure? Force upon area. So here area is coming in the denominator. More the thing will be there in the denominator, the quantity over here will reduce. Hence, pressure is defined as force per unit area. More the area, less the pressure. Alright, note it down. I hope it's noted. Let's move further on the dependence of force. We are knowing that pressure is inversely proportional to area. That is, right now we discussed, more the area, less will be the pressure. You have already studied about this concept in your lower standards, that is in class 8. Now let us have a look at it. Friends, you can see over here, the boy is over here standing on the mattress, while over here the boy is sleeping on the mattress. You can easily see that here the mattress is getting synced, while here it is not getting, means compressed. So I hope you are trying to understand. Even when you are standing at home on the bed, you can just observe that it is getting compressed. But if you are lying, same thing doesn't happen. Why? Here the area is less, so pressure will be more. Here the area is more, so pressure will be less. Coming to the next particular part. Here again you can see this is the dull knife while this is the sharp knife. Here in case of the dull knife, what happens is you can see the area is more, so the pressure exerted will be less. Ultimately there will be a problem. Here you can see surface area, this is sharp knife, area is less, pressure will be more. Alright, next, if you are nailing something, you want to put anything inside the wall, if it is a nail it will go quickly, but instead of this nail I want to put this pen in the wall, I want to stick it. Just think, will I be able to? No. Why? Because the surface area of the nail is very less, while the surface area over here is quite more. Alright, here the surface area is very less, while here the surface area is very more, and this is how you can judge. Alright, this is how pressure is inversely proportional to area. Quickly note down this concept, then we'll see the next particular examples. Just what you need to do, the concepts in your brain, or you can just take the screenshot. I'm giving you 10 to 15 seconds to just look at the diagram and observe everything on your own, so the things will become clear. At last we are having the notes of this, so do not worry. All the examples given in your book are jotted down just after explanation of one slide. So I hope you have understood the content. Now let's move further. Pressure is inversely proportional to area. You can see the caterpillar tracks which are there on the tanks. Okay, the tires of the tractor, you all are knowing that heavy vehicles like tractor, truck, they have very broad tires. Why do they have broad tires now? Because more the area, less will be the pressure. Then about the snowboards and snowshoes, you already know. Alright, just read this once, then we will see all the examples that are given in your book. So I hope it's clear. Let's move further on how is pressure inversely proportional to area. This, the standing and sleeping on mattress, we talked about. Potato, cut it with a blunt and the sharp knife. Okay, this one, then this one, then the push pins. Okay, they'll go quickly inside the soft board, but if this, I want to put this pen, no. Then the bags with the broad strip. More the big strip is, less will be the pressure on the shoulders of the child. So the bags with the broad strips are the example of pressure decreases with increase in area. Then dams, they have very wide foundations. Next, railway lines with sleeper. Again, railway, whole of the train, it is having very large amount of weight. They are very heavy. So only there are sleepers, so that the pressure will be reduced. Next, the tires of the heavy vehicles. So this is about the pressure dependency on area. Note down this. After that we are going to just note down this keywords. Then you need to just explain this concept. After that we'll move further on next particular topic, which is atmospheric pressure. So, I hope it's clear now. Now, let us have a look at the next particular topic, which is atmospheric pressure. We are knowing that atmospheric pressure, if we talk about, then unit of atmospheric pressure or any normal pressure is bar. Okay. This is our earth, and up to few kilometers it is covered by the blanket and this blanket is our atmosphere. Our earth is covered by one blanket of atmosphere. Now, this atmosphere is exerting its own pressure. Has its own pressure. And because of its own pressure only, we are existing. All the living organisms that are residing on the earth somewhere, whomsoever, many species are residing, and among that, one species human being. Everywhere on the earth except the portion where there is water, the human beings are not there. So, wherever the human beings are there, what happens actually? Our body is also creating some kind of pressure on the atmosphere, and atmosphere is also creating some kind of pressure on our body, and hence it is compensated. Okay, so body is exerting some pressure. Body is exerting pressure on atmosphere, and atmosphere is exerting the pressure on the body. Because this pressure is compensated, so our body is not getting squeezed out because of this atmospheric pressure. And one atmospheric pressure is about 1.013 bar. Alright, this much heavy pressure it is. And how is this helpful? Okay, let me give you one example for it. Atmosphere and the body, they balance the pressure. The space suits, they are worn by the astronauts. Now, why do the astronauts wear the space suit? Over here, you can understand. When the astronomers go in space there is no atmosphere. Because there is no atmosphere in the space, what happens? All the body cells are constantly creating some kind of pressure, but there is no atmosphere to counter check it back. So what will happen? All that extra pressure, if they are not wearing the space suits, then all the extra pressure will get exerted on the cells of the body. And what will happen? Cells will burst out. Ultimately, the person will die. Hence, space suits are worn by the astronauts. Next, the deep sea divers and the mountain climbers, they are using special oxygen materials and everything, because at some height when the person is going, this is the surface of the earth. When the person is going higher and higher, okay, from the earth, at that moment, even on the surface of the earth, at higher altitudes, at higher altitudes on earth, the atmosphere decreases, its pressure decreases. Hence, there is sometimes problem of nose bleeding. Okay, many times it is happening that people are not able to take proper amount of oxygen also, because you might have experienced it when you are going at Shri Hemkund Sahib or Kedarnath, those places at which are at particular height. Over there, the atmosphere decreases, so sometimes even the help of oxygen cylinders is taken. So this is about the atmospheric pressure. Note down important points regarding the atmospheric pressure. These are the keywords. Then we'll move further on fluid pressure. Quickly note it, then we'll move further. Alright. Now the next particular concept, which is fluid pressure. Now before understanding fluid pressure, we need to understand about this law, which is called as the Pascal's law. It is very simple and very easy. Just imagine that you are taking a small particular balloon, and in that balloon you are filling the water. Now whatever is the water present inside the balloon, it is exerting the similar pressure on all the sides of the walls of the, on all the circumference or the periphery of the balloon. Okay, just imagine if I am putting some holes, doing some holes in the balloon, and then if I am fetching the water out from it, then in all the directions in equal proportion, the water will squeeze out. What is the reason? The reason is this, that is, the pressure applied on one point of the liquid is getting transmitted equally in all the directions. That is called as the Pascal's law. That is, pressure is getting transmitted equally in all the directions. The law in your book is given like this: pressure applied to an enclosed fluid in a vessel is transmitted undiminished at every point, means you can write equally at every point on the fluid and the walls of the vessels. Okay, so the pressure is equal at every point on the fluid and to the walls of the vessels. Note down this very important law. After that we will see one small derivation. Note down quick. It's just one statement. Be quick. Alright, now let's move further. Pressure at the base of the fluid is what? It is H into rho into G. This is what we have to derive. But for what? Just imagine that this is a vessel and the cross sectional area is A. Okay, this is the cross sectional area. Cross sectional area means what? The front view of anything, what it is called as? The cross sectional area. This is a cube, alright, a cuboid. But if you look at it like this, then its cross sectional area is a rectangle. Over here again it's a rectangle. So it depends on this pen. If you see, the shape is maybe anything, but over here you can see only circle. So its cross sectional area is over here, the front view, whenever you see. So whenever a fluid is filled in any particular container, then at its base, that is over here, the pressure exerted is this, H into rho into G, where H is the height at which totally the height the fluid is present. G, you are knowing, it is gravitational acceleration. While rho, it is a Greek word which is standing for density. Okay, remember rho it is a Greek letter. Now, what is the derivation about? The derivation is about pressure. So, we know that pressure is equal to force upon area. As per Newton's second law of motion, you have studied that force is mass into acceleration. Alright. Upon area. Here the acceleration will be the gravitational acceleration g. So the force is m into g upon a. Alright. Now here only we will do all the replacement. Now we are knowing that density is mass upon volume, that is rho is equals to m upon v. Therefore, from this you can write m is equals to rho into v. Can you write rho is equals to m upon v? So m is equals to rho into v. So how this came? This came from 1. You are getting this concept. Alright, that pressure is equals to rho Vg by A. Now again we need to change A. How can we change A now? Just in your lower standards you have studied about the volume of cylinder. What is the volume of cylinder? It is this pi r square h. Why it is pi r square h? Because the surface cross sectional area is what? Of a circle multiplied by height. Alright. Every time in case of suppose a cube, what is the top area? L square. Height is also L. So what is the volume of a cube? It's L cube. Then cuboid. What is its volume? Its area is L into B. This cross sectional area from the top, while this is height h. So its volume is area into height. So always you are doing volume as the multiplication of area and height. Always the volume is equal to the multiplication of area and height. So here it is. Instead of area, what can be written? Volume as area into height. As area is equal to V into H, P will is equal to rho into V into G upon V into, instead of volume we are writing area into height. Alright. So rho P is equal to rho into A into H into G upon A. Now both the A will get cancelled out and you have P as H rho G. Alright. So this is about how pressure at the base of the fluid is this, which is H into rho into G. Pressure is force or thrust upon area, which is mass into gravitational acceleration upon area, m into G by A. But m is rho into V from this. Okay, so after first note down this, then that. Then again here it is V is equals to A into H. So once you replace V as A into H, you get P as H into rho into G. Note down this content, and in the basic numericals everywhere we will be using about the area and volume formulas. So when we will do numericals, I'll make you write everything. First note down this content, after that we'll move further. Be quick and note it. Note down the whole derivation. Then we'll move further. Be quick. I hope you have noted all this content. Alright. So I hope that you have understood all the things that are done today. We started with a new lesson, that is flotation. Then we discussed about how what is thrust, what is pressure, and how is pressure depending on area. Then we discussed about the atmospheric pressure, and finally over here, which is pressure at the base of the fluid, is H rho g. Okay. So that's all for the content of the day. Just remember, physics is very simple and it's a fun learning the physics content. That's all for the content of the day. Thank you so much my students for listening to me, and have a very good day all of you. That's all. Bye bye.